Hello, I'm Joe Kotz from Videoamp. I'm here with Drew Panayiotou at Brand Innovators at CES. We're excited to chat with you today a little bit.
Thanks, Joe. Good to be here.
CES, always about breaking news, new technologies, emerging technologies. Marketing tends to follow those trends. Tell me, what are your kind of predictions for what the emerging technologies are going to be this year for brands that they're going to really lean into?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's awesome that so much of the innovation is around health tech, telemedicine, helping people do things around their health
Yes.
When they're at home and not in a doctor's office. I often say health happens in between doctor visits. And so all of that consumer tech that we're seeing here, I think opens up massive doors to people in healthcare in the industry.
That's awesome. And it wouldn't be right if we didn't talk a little bit about things like machine learning and AI
Yes.
this time of year. So I hear you guys have got some exciting things coming. I'm curious what's happening at Pfizer around AI and how you guys are leveraging that.
Yeah, great question. I think the ChatGPT moment affected everyone. I think for us, it made me realize that we have to jump the track. One thing that is a common challenge, and I saw this at Coke, I saw it at Disney, I saw it at Best Buy, where I was a CMO, is the complexity to do marketing is greater and greater and greater. And yet we have to find a way to create more relevant communications and experiences with our customers. We're building our own marketing workbench that is powered by, Adobe, powered by Marcel, which comes from Publicis, and then we're bringing in, a whole ecosystem of tools that will allow us to create kind of our own LLM around marketing. And I think that is the future, is that, you will build a house, you will build your LLM, and then you will have doors that let people in, that don't let people in, because everything needs to be, secure and privacy.
Yeah.
But that kind of workbench doesn't exist. And so I brought in a team of people that I've worked with before, and we're building it. And it's called Charlie, which is named after Pfizer's founder, Charles Pfizer.
That's amazing. And have you guys got this in the wild? Have you started to see some results back? What are what are people saying?
Yeah, I believe in coming from Alphabet. You test and learn, you iterate, you do sprints. And so we put it out in the wild, we put it outside the US, inside the US, 92% satisfaction with just the level one capabilities, which is, how do you produce content, work the content supply chain? How do agencies and marketers collaborate? How do they generate insights? That's just level one. And I can imagine once we get to level 2 and 3, which is a marketer actually speaking in and saying, I want to optimize this campaign. Tell me what audiences that this campaign's not working for. Which audiences is it working for? What messaging opportunities do I have? Like, that is where marketing will be very quickly. We're not going to be clunking through different databases, trying to look through different research studies. It will be powered by big data. And I think that is what is exciting to me, is no one has figured out, I think, how to harness big data, particularly in healthcare, which is the biggest sort. I mean, healthcare data is 30% of all data generated. So those that will be in the healthcare space, whether it's CVS, whether it's Pfizer, whether it's Walmart, the power to use big data to power your communications, to make them as relevant as possible, is very fast approaching.
That's fantastic. I think we all look forward to hearing more as you guys get results on this. And you mentioned data, big data. It's really, that's been buzz now for a couple of years, but finally the start of this year, we all got the announcement Chrome is finally starting to shut off cookies for people.
Yes.
We're seeing the news headlines that big data is coming into the world of video measurement, changing the world of legacy linear TV, bringing streaming together. What are your thoughts on, the impacts of that into, how you bring data into video and make that more effective for customers and advertisers and publishers as we move into 2024 and beyond?
Sure. I think, that video, particularly in healthcare, those are the most compelling communications, right? Static communications, when you're dealing with your health, aren't as effective. But I see a huge opportunity in terms of addressability, the new ad models that are coming out there, both with Hulu and Netflix, and the ability to really start thinking about video communication and advertising differently, and having the explosion of what that will avail in terms of data to personalize your messaging even more, make it even more relevant. I think we are probably one of the last legacy industries, right? You turn on your television, you turn on any show of the evening news, how many pharma ads are you seeing?
At least one.
At least one. You probably will see 15 to 20.
Yeah.
And I think that shows the opportunity we have to start thinking about all the explosion of video. How do we think about advertising on Hulu versus YouTube?
Yeah.
How do we look at all of that data and harmoniously synchronize our efforts around audiences? I think that's the power of now having those data sets available.
Yeah, and it seems like with tools like Charlie, better understanding your audience, and now the ability to start to add addressability into those channels, you guys have got a real opportunity to personalize and start to communicate with customers in a much different way. So I'd love to hear about how you guys think about personalization and the types of things you're doing to make sure that you can be relevant with consumers across the entire spectrum of what you guys do at Pfizer.
Sure. I think in our space, it starts with audiences, right? Because we want to, we talk about micro-clustering a lot of different audiences so that we can make the healthcare message as relevant as possible. I think we saw that during COVID. It's not a one-size-fits-all world. People have different feelings as it relates to their healthcare, and we honor diversity when we talk to audiences. And then we have to think about how do we permission and get the ability to talk to you on a one-to-one basis. And that, I think, is all of what we're thinking about, which is like, how do you talk to an audience, and then how do you create enough value to have a permissioned one-to-one relationship with someone? And you have to ask their permission, and you have to honor, all the government, state or country regulations around that. But it's figuring that out so that we create value for people, we protect, them. And if we're able to create compelling communications, which goes back to like why I think Charlie is powerful, you have to think about how to make the information useful and of value to people. And I think one of the things about generative AI, and I heard this yesterday with folks at CNET, is generative AI is not about just giving information, but solving problems. And so I think that is like where our future is like, how do we help people solve their healthcare problems? Yeah,
AI seems to be a big, the potential for AI to be able to help people with that in a more real-time fashion will be amazing. I know we need to wrap some things up. So I've got, in the spirit of AI and machine learning, I asked ChatGPT a couple of questions.
Wow, I love it.
To get to know a CMO. So I'm going to ask you a few rapid fire questions.
Yes.
And would love just to get a little bit of feedback from you on these along the way. I've got a cheat. I'm going to look at my list here from what they put together. But the first one, how has the CMO role changed in the past, say, 2 to 5 years?
Great question. I think the CMO title was kind of under attack, right? 5 years ago, even as recently as last year. But I think it is all changing because there was the CMO role, and then a lot of organizations said technology is too difficult for people to understand, data is too difficult for people to understand data science. You're talking to a CMO that, codes in Python, and I always found that to be interesting. And I think with the advent of Gen AI, and again, AI is a general purpose tool, I think it now democratizes technology and makes the CMO role back to being incredibly relevant and powerful. I don't think you need to have these separations. Like AI should be in the entire organization. Our CEO has AI goals for every part of the company. So the notion that the digital stuff happens in one team and is squirreled away in one area, I think that is yesterday. I think organizations that unleash the power of AI and democratize it in the company are the ones that win.
Great. What are the top 3 things you do each day as a CMO?
Top 3 things I do each day. I've learned, because things move so fast, that a good friend of mine is Ariana Huffington, and she always says, sleep. So the first thing I always try to do is like get into my day feeling refreshed. The second thing I believe is important is that you think about how your team is operating. Marketing is a team sport. So how does both the internal teams and your agency partners come together? Are they coming together? Are they solving problems? And then the third thing I've learned, especially with operating teams during the pandemic, being at Alphabet, is you have to celebrate. You got to find moments in your day where you find ways to celebrate something good, provide encouragement, empathy, particularly in a place that has to marry creativity and data. And you have to create this magic. You have to have people passionate and energized. And so being able to celebrate is important.
Awesome. All right, last one. This is a fun one. Marketer, CMO, past, present, you would go to a 2-martini lunch with.
Oh, great question. I was saying this the other day. Someone asked me, like, what's your favorite brand? And so it may not be, maybe this is a CMO, but my favorite brand is Elton John. I think he's done an amazing job at creating his brand and image, staying relevant. So I'd actually like to go to I'd say, a CMO-like object, like Elton John, and chat with him about his journey.
Might be more than 2 martinis.
Yeah, it might be more than 2 martinis.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate the time.
Absolutely. Thank
Great.
you. Nice to meet you.